So Nico, today we're going to chat a bit about your experience with heavy duty training. We'll maybe look at some of the pros and cons, and maybe afterwards we'll see if you actually bought into this way of training and compare it with your previous way of exercising. I'm assuming you have been gymming before?
Well, morning Sean, thanks so much for having me on your channel, Think Muscle. I've been busy with heavy duty training for about 1.5 years now. Prior to that, I was involved with a little bit of calisthenics, some bodyweight training, and then before that I spent an extensive amount of time actually in the gym doing a lot of weight training. So I'm excited to have a chat with you today about heavy duty. I think it's a really revolutionary style of training, and yeah, I think it's very well suited to practical life and busy life as well.
Okay, and then maybe afterwards we can also discuss your progress.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. It's definitely been progress.
So Nicola, how were you actually introduced to this heavy duty style of training?
That's an interesting question, Sean. So I've been family friends with Kathy and Kevin McNamara for a number of years, and I was always very impressed by how Kevin maintained his physique even into his much older years. And this curiosity naturally led me to start asking a few more questions from Kathy and Kevin. And then Kathy proposed something to me which I thought was crazy. She was like, come check out this workout program that we use. It's only 2 days. It's split between an upper body and a lower body. And it's extremely effective because it optimizes muscle destruction and muscle resting. So I thought to myself, you know what, I'm in a space now where I haven't been in a traditional gym for quite some time. I'm quite busy, so let me give it a bash. I started, and for the first 2 or 3 sessions, I was like, no, this is crazy. You can't just come in and do like 40 minutes and then you're done. But with time and consistency, I started to see the wonderful benefits of this program, and yeah, I've been hooked now 1.5 years later. Absolutely loving it.
So Nico, how does it differ from your previous way of exercising? Maybe in terms of time, weight, that sort of thing.
Previously, I was subscribing to your more mainline training styles. So like a lot of drop sets, or maybe where there's specific muscle groups targeted over the different days. However, I found that it used to be very time consuming. I would go into the gym and I would spend anywhere between 2 hours to almost 3 hours sometimes actually just chasing pump at the end of the day. Now with heavy duty training through Kathy and Kevin McNamara, I've now gone and shifted to a far more practical and functional form of training where the weights are still slightly on the heavier side, so that the muscle gets a lot of work. However, the training isn't longer than a 40-minute session. You come in, you do a series of exercises targeting the primary or big muscles, and in doing so, then the secondary or smaller muscles are also worked at the same time. You then have 3 to 4 days break between your next session, which gives the muscle more than enough time to recover. And also at my age, I need all the extra time I can get. And yeah, and then you slowly start to build on that momentum. You start upping your weights as your rep count starts to stabilize a little bit. And then what's nice is it's such a flexible workout that I've recently started to incorporate a few drop sets as well after doing my main weight set.
So you mentioned there that it now actually fits your lifestyle and your age, considering maybe a busy lifestyle, and really fitting in some time for your gym as well.
Yeah, that's completely correct. I think for me that was one of the main benefits, is it's perfectly adapted to a fast, high impact, busy lifestyle where you can't necessarily afford 2 to 3 hours in a day to look after yourself. We all know that, you know, we have to find a balance between our health and also keeping up with our responsibilities. And the heavy duty program has given me that perfect medium where I can still be very efficient with my responsibilities, but at the same time not miss a beat when it comes to looking after my health.
Some benefits of the program?
I would say one of the main benefits of the program is that you see continual strength gaining. So because of the way you use a very consistent form of workout and consistent weights and not moving to the higher weights until you've really mastered a certain weight class, there's phenomenal strength gain. I have been putting up and increasing my weights now over the period that I've been doing this training almost every second week. So I can definitely see that there's consistent strength gaining. I think another massive benefit to this is the rest component, because there's not really a benefit of training well and training regularly when your body just can't recover and isn't finding time to come out of that fatigue. So for me, I think heavy duty is fantastic because it gives that consistent strength gaining and also optimal rest periods as well, I think. And then the other massive benefit is that you actually start to develop a very good technique around the different exercises that you do, because you're not chopping and changing or trying to diversify your exercises too much. It stays simple, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 main exercises. You stay in it, you improve your technique, and that leads to improved strength gain.
You don't see any negatives around this way of training?
The only negative that I can possibly see around this form of training is that maybe at times you can become a little bit bored, but this is owing to us just being humans. We always want to have the most exciting things and most diverse and various things. Bruce Lee once said that, I fear the man who practices one punch 1,000 times and not the man who practices 1,001 times. So I really feel like heavy duty is that single punch 1,000 times where you can really fall into a great habit of training, of perfecting the technique behind your exercises and having enough time to do the rest of life, because that's what it's about. It's about balance. It's taking nothing away from those that work extremely hard in the gym and put their hours in, but for a lot of people, I know that a program like this would really benefit them, their work life and their family life.
So are you following any strict diet?
I spend a lot of time on a paddle court, which is quite a cardio-intensive activity. In terms of a diet, I'm not necessarily subscribing to any particular diet or eating regime. I just try to eat good amounts of nutrient diverse food. So making sure I get some good carbs in, definitely incorporating proteins, just being a little bit cautious when it comes to processed foods and processed sugars, but not being afraid to treat myself every now and then, to have a Krispy Kreme or I enjoy sweets quite a bit. So, when I'm feeling a little bit low on the court or a little bit tired in the day, then I'll go and look at some better options. There's this USN Turkish Delight nougat, which is great for quick boost of energy. I would definitely recommend it. But I think just in terms of eating, the best philosophy would be moderation. Eat well, eat right, don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Just make sure you are giving the body what it needs for its activity and its energy requirements.
Sounds pretty much like what Kevin would always say, a balanced meal. And he always used to say, you should know your own body. You'll see your weight go up or down, or your fat increase or not. So good way to measure. So you would definitely recommend this form of training style to anyone?
I think when it comes to suggesting lifestyle choices, I think it's really important to understand what works for you. Each of us was made differently. but I have found nothing but benefit with the heavy duty training style. I would recommend it for all age groups because of how easy it is to regulate and how it's easy to not go into overdoing it like we generally would when we training in gyms and we're training for pump. I've seen massive benefits with the training regime, and I'm just excited to keep working in it and sticking with it. And if you are out there and you may be between a few things, or you may be starting up and not sure what's right for you, heavy duty is a wonderful foundational program that you can use to teach you the right ways to train and the right ways to exercise. And if you're someone who already has training experience, it could also be something different to try out. Shift away from, high reps and high volume towards something that's a little bit more challenging in its own very unique way. So yes, I give my seal of approval to heavy duty. Come check it out at Kevin's gym, run by his wonderful wife, Kathy McNamara. And don't forget to subscribe to Think Muscle as well if you want to keep up with all the latest benefits in training in the heavy duty system, or just getting some nice educational content around that.
How would you describe your experience with the actual intensity of this training? Do you think everyone is fit for this type of exercise?
That's a great question. I've had a few sessions where my body does struggle quite a bit because the training is very concentrated. It isolates certain muscles. I would say my experience has been largely positive. And I think, like mentioned earlier, it can apply to all age groups and to all health conditions as well. It's a very versatile training methodology, and I don't see how anyone wouldn't take to this training positively.
You mentioned that you also do paddle, and have you seen any benefits in that sport with regards to your training?
Definitely. So paddle uses a lot of short explosive bursts in a very small and confined space. I think my training has helped my explosiveness as well as my ability to recover. I have seen an increase in the power of my shots on the paddle court, as well as my quickness around the court. I've really seen a massive gain in my movement since I've started with the heavy duty program.
And do you see any other benefits in your life with this way of training and following this heavy duty style of training?
Absolutely. I think from a discipline point of view, it's helped me become a lot more disciplined. In the past, I used to set unrealistic goals with regards to my training regime. I would say to myself, I must get 6 days a week in at 2 hours a session, which more often than not, I wasn't achieving it. Now with heavy duty, I've got my 2 days in the week. I actually get to a point where I can't wait for the following day in the week. I think from a managing stress and anxiety point of view, the program has been great. I always leave here feeling very euphoric. I feel very positive because the way the program is structured allows for constantly hitting new personal bests and new personal highs, which is really good for just how I feel at the end, but also for my mental health, because then it feels like I really am achieving things on a consistent basis. Another one of the big benefits that I completely overlooked and didn't understand was that it actually makes me a lot more sociable and able to keep really good dynamics with people, because I'm not my body is not overly fatigued. So then generally I remember in the past I used to be overtraining, so then my body wasn't in a state of good recovery, which meant I was tired, I was short-tempered, my personality was a little bit sour towards people around me. Whereas with this, 2 days a week, I come out here feeling great, knowing that I've hit my goals. So when I'm around people, I can spread nothing but positive vibes and positive energy. I could name 100 other benefits to this program, but you'll only really know by trying it out yourself.
So you're going to do a workout now, eh?
Yes.
So Nico is just doing a bit of his warm-ups before he gets started. Very nice form.
Yes, 7, 9, 10, and up, nice, 10, good, 11, 12.
That's it. Right.
Oh, thank you, Sean. I think this program really is amazing. I think it's going to help a lot of people, especially those that have found themselves to be a bit too busy to be looking after their health. I really hope that we can get this program out there and that people will get behind it and see how one can really get a good balance in life.
Nico, great chatting to you. Thanks for the insight. I'm sure people watching this will find it quite interesting. Very interesting chat. Great to see the actual effects this program has on people. Thank you very much.
Sean, thanks so much for coming out and picking my brain a little bit. I'm glad that I could give this program a public platform, and I really respect and admire what you're doing with Think Muscle. I hope that a lot more people can get behind it, because you really are putting out the education and knowledge that we need, especially nowadays with all the different training methods floating around out there, the different diets floating around out there. It always comes back to the same thing. Just keep it simple, go for what works for you, and let the work do the work. But thank you for having me, Sean.
Great. Keep training hard and keep training consistently. That's the key.
Thank you, my friend.
Thanks.